looking at my Rust in Peace patch in the AxeFx 3. A long time ago I was posting a video where I was playing to a backing track for the song Hangar 18 by Megadeth, and that video I got some questions about the sound, because I said, I think, or I don't know, I wrote in the comments that I was using some Bogner preamp, and I don't know the exact gear Megadeth used on that album, but I've heard somewhere that in that era they are playing Bogner preamps, and so I tried to play around a little bit with the Bogner models in the AxeFx 3. And my goal was not to replicate the exact sound. I didn't do that. Just I was dialing in some decent sound with a Bogner preamp model. And yeah, some people liked the result. I thought maybe we should take a look at that patch, because honestly I don't remember which it was and how I designed the patch. So I opened it for you, beautiful ladies, here, the X-Edit, and yeah, let's take a look at the blocks. I'm using a noise gate here, classic type, threshold just 256, usually I would say a little bit lower maybe, but yeah, that depends on your taste. It doesn't affect the sound that much. One important thing is that I'm using a parametric EQ in front of the amp, so what that thing does is it's rolling off the highs. That is something which I do with the bright pickups, but yeah, for me most of the pickups have too much high end, so I like to roll off that. And yeah, you may know people are boosting sometimes amps with a tube screamer pedal, or this honk in the mid-range around the 800 Hz. That's basically doing the similar thing. You're boosting the mids, and that means basically you're cutting highs and lows, or at least the mids are a little bit more emphasized, or how it is spelled. And here I'm just rolling off the highs, and I can show you the difference. I turn it off. Well, it has this harsh top end, and as you're doing this in front of the amp, so yeah, sometimes leading to a little bit of your distortion artifacts, which I don't like, so I cut the highs a little bit, as you can see here. Depends on the pickups. Yeah, I don't use the compression here in front of the amp, but of course I'm using an amp block, which is the Bogner Fish Strato. I don't know, Bogner Fish preamp? Strato, I don't know. I don't know about the real Bogner preamps. The only thing I know is that they're probably very expensive. And yeah, as you can see here, everything at noon. Usually I'm playing around a little bit with the input and output EQ. As you can see here, I'm also boosting the mids around 800 Hz in the input EQ. There's also something which I said before, which people are doing to get more saturation out of their amp. And I rolled off the lower mids a little bit. Yeah, maybe the sound is a little bit too mid-heavy. 250 Hz region. Yeah. there is definitely an intelligent thing to do, to roll off 250 Hertz. And the most important thing is probably the cab. I'm using standard cabs here, the Recto 4x12 York Audio number 842, mixed with a little bit of another York Audio Recto cab mic with an Roya 121. As you can see here, the Roya is just dialed back in the level, so most of the sound is coming from the SM57. And what else? Yeah, low cut. Usually I'm cutting the lows somewhere. Here in this case around 94 Hertz. And I'm using a pitch shifting effect for kind of an 80s chorus tone. If I turn it off, it doesn't do that much, to be honest. But it fattens up the chords, in my opinion, a little bit, especially in this part. You may know there are two guitars playing these open chords, and as I'm only one guitar player, maybe simulating two guitars in a way, but I use this on most of my patches because I like these 80s chorus rhythm guitar sound. It's a little bit subtle, the effect. It was way back when I played the song, so I don't remember every solo correctly now, but yeah. Anyway, this video's purpose is just to show you the patch. Parametric EQ, I don't use it here, I think. Just this is a block which is in most of my patches, and usually I use it to adjust the overall tone when I'm playing live to the environment. But so I left it in here because as a starting point, I copied this patch from another patch. But yeah, it doesn't do anything fancy. It's rolling off the lows here, but as you could see before, I did that already in the cap block, so it should not affect the sound at all. The only thing it does here is it raises the level, because on number 2 it's usually my lead scene. So as you can see here, number 1, it's cutting off a little bit around the 800 Hertz and the level is 0. So this is usually my rhythm tone. And then when I switch to the lead scene, I'm using a little bit of these 400 Hertz. So I set back to 0, and here I'm pushing the overall level about 2 dB. Other than that, there's a little bit of reverb. I'm using the London Plate reverb here, as you can see. And of course the delay, which is also nothing fancy. You can see here it's kind of set to 600 milliseconds. Stereo tape delay, yeah. And of course these things, the delay is turned off in my rhythm scene. Also the pitch block is turned off in the rhythm scene. I think when I made the video I was playing in the rhythm scene the whole time, or no, I don't know, sorry. It was either the rhythm scene as scene 1 or Elite C2. I cannot remember now. Yeah, so nothing fancy happening here, but yeah, sounds quite good to me. As a comparison, I can show you my my usual patch. More quiet here. So usually I'm playing with this sound, at least at the moment. Here I'm using the enhancer to get these wide stereo effect. Also the pitch block, but here the pitch block is a little bit dynamic, set a little bit dynamic. Made a video about that, please check that out. And yeah, I'm using the Atomica High, but I made a tone match of the newer DSP plugin sound. So as you can see here, I'm using a my own IR. And also some other fancy things like a multi-band compression, which should just reduce the lower mids when I'm playing palm mute. As you can see here, I'm playing this, it's reduced, but it's just the bandwidth between 90 Hz and 350 Hz. Yeah, so I hope this helps you to get the Rusty Piece tone, or at least some similar tone you like with the Bogner Fish preamp. In my opinion, it's a great model here in the AxeFx 3, but I'd also recommend to try out the Atomica High here. It's also great, it's easy to dial in. Yeah, so please check these things out and post your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Bye.